Hi, this is Jim Bergmann on behalf of MeasureQuick. Here today, out here with Fieldpiece to do a little demo of their VP85 vacuum pump and also the AccuTools True Blue hoses. We're out here on a job site with Jackson Comfort Systems. They just did a brand new installation. So we've got a furnace here, and I wanted to start over here for a couple of reasons here. I want you to see the furnace is in that room where that door's open right there. And so we're gonna take a little walk and we'll go over to the system. I just wanted to get an idea how far away this is. Now this system is a 3-ton unit, and it was an existing R22 system, so it's got a long piece of line set. And as you see here, as we go around the house here, how far away we are, we're not sure if they ran it as a crow flies and straight across, or if it's run, you know, long ways in the attic. But either way, it's quite a bit of distance away. So we're going to actually start this process from scratch. I mean, and literally the only thing we've done here is we ran a cord for the vacuum pump. The cord goes all the way around behind the deck here, and one of the really cool features of the VP85 is it's got a DC motor in that. And when you got to run a long cord like this, that DC motor is great, because if there's any voltage drop in your cord, this will start as low as 95 volts. And that's probably one of my favorite features of the pump. We've got the AccuTools True Blue hoses here, and really we have nothing set up. Caps are off. We got to pull the straighter cores. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to just do a couple of quick things here. I usually like to just attach my core tools right to the end here. It just makes it a little easier to hook everything up here. And we got that one. We'll just pull that out, set that aside, and we'll get these hooked up. And that way, sometimes it's easier to get it on one end than the other here, but then we're not messing with a couple connections. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the cores out. The nitrogen's been blown out of the system here, so we don't have to deal with any of that. And we'll go ahead and connect our valve core here. And then we'll connect it up to our gauge set. So you can see here, another nice thing is because we have this valve tree built in, we don't have to screw around with any extra fittings. Everything just goes right on. It's very quick, it's easy to use, and with these larger hoses here, it just makes the attaching everything really simple. No extra fittings, no T's, nothing. So we're also minimizing our number of potential leaks in the system. We'll go ahead, we'll put this guy on. Okay, so that's snug, that's snug. And the reason I always want to use valve core tools is on here, so we have a way to isolate the vacuum, so we can make sure that, number one, the system's tight, and number two, that we're measuring the true vacuum on the system. Now when you're doing this, you got to make sure there's a core depressor on here, so we want to make sure that we have the core depressor towards the valve core. I'm going to connect my vacuum gauge here on the side. We're going to go ahead and everything's set up now. I'm going to go ahead and restart the recording. Make sure my gas balance is open when I first start it. I'm just going to restart the recording and press restart, and we'll go ahead and start the pump. So it's going to take just a second for things to start moving here, and we want to close the gas ballast. You can see the lights on in the gas ballast when this gets down to about 10,000 microns. And this just gives a little bit of time, if there is any moisture in the system, it gives it just a few seconds for everything to clear itself out. So you can see now we're right at 10,000 microns. I'm going to go ahead and close that gas ballast. When I close the gas ballast here, the light goes out on the vacuum pump. You can hear the pump change in sound, and we're cruising down pretty nicely right now on our evacuation. Now this is a brand new system, so I have this set up for targets at 200 microns. And what I want to be able to do is I want to, again, get all the moisture out of this, because if there's any moisture that's connected by adhesion, I want to make sure that we get it adequately dehydrated, degassed, and it's ready to go. So we're at the, let's see here, we're at the 1 minute mark, and at 1 minute we're down to about 1,000 microns. And again, it's a very long line set, 3-ton system, new evaporator coil, and we gotta give this just a few seconds to degas and dehydrate. While this is running, and we'll just give this a second just to show you this, because I think this is a pretty cool feature. If we wanted to change the oil, you know, typically you'd have to stop your vacuum pump and, you know, go through the whole process of doing that. Well, in this case here, literally all we do is pop the door. You can see I got my oil level here. I'm just going to drain this oil out. So that oil's going down right now. Close the valve back up. I'll take the cap off, take some fresh vacuum pump oil, pour it in the top. Now you just got to watch because it goes in quickly. You got a wide mouth here, very easy to pour. We're to the top of the fill zone and we're good to go. So oil change on the fly, no problem at all. Wipe off the extra oil and we're done. So literally a couple seconds to change the oil on the pump, change it while it's running, and you can look here, we didn't lose a bit of vacuum. So you can see if anything would have changed right here in this trend line, if we'd have lost any vacuum at all, we would have seen that jump up, but it's holding solid. We're down almost to 200 microns and we are at, what's our time here? 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So we're going to let this get down. The reason we want it, it's a brand new installation, and we want to make sure that this system is going to be, you know, live a long life, and a good evacuation is the best way to do that. If you evacuate too fast, like if we were to just take this down to 500 and stop, we wouldn't give the water if there's any moisture in the line set, any time to actually liberate from the line set. Again, it's attached by adhesion, which means it's just that's physically attached to the walls. Hopefully there's no moisture in this. It doesn't look like there was any, but now that we're at the 200 micron mark, I'm going to go ahead and isolate our core tools and we'll see if we hold solid or if we have any decay. My core tool valves, so we'll get both those closed. So now my vacuum's completely isolated and we're in an isolation test, and we'll just let this go here. I'm gonna go back to the home screen here. So you can see right here, here's our target, right, 200. This was our target that we're gonna get down to, but now we don't want it to go above the red flag there, which is 500 microns, and you can see we're gonna hold well below that. Reset the zoom here so we can see that right. So you can see now automatic pass, so the vacuum's passed. We're all done. We're gonna go ahead and shut off the pump. And that is it. So if you took a look at this whole thing here, I'm going to hit finish and save, and we'll view our record here. You can see that our entire elapsed time for this evacuation to get all the way down to a 150 micron range, 5 minutes, passed. Our final vacuum was 200.7 microns. We are good to go. So hopefully that gives you a really good idea about how quickly and we can do it with the right vacuum pump, the right hoses, the right core tool, the right vacuum gauge. All this stuff makes a big difference. If you're going to spend the money on the vacuum pump, make sure you get the right accessories to go with it, and you can't go wrong. This is Jim Bergmann with Measure Quick on behalf of Fieldpiece. Thanks a lot for watching.